Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Allison. I make cleaning and lifestyle videos every week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any videos. Today I'm going to be giving you 7 reasons that your house is always a mess and just some tips on how you can correct that. So hopefully this is helpful to help you maybe figure out why your house is messy. I mean, everybody has different levels of mess. And it's okay if your house is a mess and you're okay with it. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're wanting to improve how your house looks or feels, I thought I'd give you a few tips to maybe make your life a little easier. So I'm going to start with the first tip. And the number one reason I'm going to say is that you're busy, and we're all busy. Everybody's very, very busy. And it's hard to keep up with housework. Everybody has a huge expectation. It used to be that someone could stay home and take care of just the house and that was their job. But now everybody has jobs and obligations outside of the home that they didn't have in the past, so it's gotten really difficult to keep up with the household in its own, and it's really caused people to have more of a mess. People are just so busy now with everything that we don't have time, and that's really frustrating for a lot of people. I know there's ways to work around the fact that we're so busy. One thing is that we have new technology now. We have things that can do jobs for us, which is really amazing. There are, there's things like, a robotic vacuum cleaner, or, we have washing machines and dishwashers, and those things can really speed along the process of cleaning. Not everybody can afford them too, so even if you can't afford those sort of things, you can use a lot of apps. There's apps that can help you stay on top of things, keep organized a little bit more. There's just so many other options that we have to help find solutions to problems that we had. So just keep that in mind when you're so busy. Just think, well, I'm so busy, but I do have other things that I can rely on to help me get my jobs done around the house. My number 2 reason that your house is probably a mess, and I think this is the biggest one, is probably that you have too much stuff. I think everyone, at least in my country, people are really obsessed with buying things, getting things, having things, and it's led to this problem of just people having stuff, lots and lots and lots of stuff everywhere. And you can't clean your house if there's stuff that you have to move constantly every time you clean. The more stuff you have, the more difficult it is to clean up a mess. You need to really cut down your possessions. And it's hard because we get attached to them. We have emotional attachments to things, and I understand that. So you really need to focus on decluttering, finding things that you value, find out what's important to you, and focus on those things. There are all kinds of books and shows and things that teach you how to declutter in a way that's helpful. It's not just, you don't need to just grab your stuff and throw it out. That's not what you need to do, but you really need to learn to focus on things that are important to you so that you can do better in life. It's so much easier to clean when there's nothing that you have to move and you can just wipe your counter and go on with your life. And your house will feel more open and airy and fresh if you have fewer possessions in it. So just consider that when you're looking through your things. Maybe focus, a day, 1 week, if you have an extra few hours just on decluttering a few items, and you'll notice a huge difference in your life. Number 3, and this one's probably a big one for a lot of people, and that's going to be that cleaning is not a priority. And for most people, it's not. Most people, because they're so busy, just have other things that they'd rather be doing. We don't have a lot of free time. Everybody's working a lot of hours. I know a lot of people that work 60-hour work weeks. They don't have free time anymore, especially if they're raising children. So cleaning is something that tends to fall down low on the priority list. They would rather enjoy the little bit of time they have or spend it with their families, and that's nice too. So you really need to focus on moving cleaning up a little bit in your priority list so you can get the important things done. Figure out what really needs done and focus on those things when you have time. Everybody's got different needs and different requirements, but we all need to do things like laundry and dishes, and those things have to get done. So even if you don't have a lot of time, try to figure out which items are the most important, and you can focus your energy on those items. Number 4 is going to be that you're probably disorganized. A lot of people that have messy homes tend to be kind of disorganized, and that's something that's really hard to get past because it's kind of ingrained into you. If you're a disorganized person, that's probably just part of your personality, but there are ways that you can tackle it. Like I mentioned before, there are apps for cleaning, and if you're disorganized, you can use the apps to help you get more organized. You can find things that will help you make lists or set reminders to do things. Even if you just set an alarm on your phone on a certain day to remind you to do a certain cleaning job, that will help you stay on top of things a little bit more you can clean and organize in a way that's just better if you're on top of things. Making lists is big. I'm a huge list maker. I love to make a to-do list. Anytime I do any kind of big cleaning project, I like to make a list of what I need to get done, and I'll just go down the list and check it. I like feeling like I'm accomplishing things by checking things off the list. Sometimes I'll even make a list just in my head and mentally check off each thing as I get it done, and it makes a huge difference on how much I'm able to tackle. Number 5 is going to be more situational. Sometimes life gets in the way, and this happens to everyone sometimes. Sometimes things just happen in life and you can't control it, and sometimes you just can't clean. That could be something like your child got sick, or you were injured, or some major life event happened, someone passed away possibly in your family, and sometimes you just can't do any cleaning. And that's okay, and you need to understand when those situations happen. You need to not feel bad about yourself, because that happens to everyone, and people understand if you're going through grieving or a tragedy or some kind of life event. People are going to be understanding about those kind of situations. People will come over to your house and they will know that you don't have time. Sometimes people are really helpful in those situations and will offer to help you out, but in that situation, don't feel bad if your house is messy. People know if you're going through something that you're not going to be cleaning, because that's just part of what you need to go through, and you just need to get through the process. So I don't have any tips in that situation other than to maybe rely on other people, because other people are usually really willing to help out in that kind of a situation. So just consider that. Like, don't feel bad if you're going through a major life event and you can't clean. It's not the end of the world. Things will turn around eventually and it'll get better. Number 6 reason that your house is probably messy might be that other people aren't helping you in your household. And that's a big one for a lot of people. I know a lot of mothers feel that way if their husbands or partners are just not assisting them. That can be really heartbreaking for them, because they feel like all the responsibility is on them, and it can be really overwhelming. And I know women in particular are really bad about not asking for help from others. We like to feel like we can tackle everything ourselves. We want to be like we want to feel like we can do everything and we can handle everything and we don't need help from others. But that's really not healthy. We need help from other people. We need assistance. We need guidance. So it's really nice to learn to reach out to other people, to ask for help. Most people, if you ask them, are really willing to help other people. So if you take a few moments and maybe ask your partner, hey, can you help with this task that I have to get done? Can you take out this garbage can? Can you do something? People will help you if you ask them most of the time. So don't be afraid to ask other people for assistance. Ask your kids to help with things. If you're, depending on the age of your children, if you have children, they can help with some of the chores. So don't feel like you need to do everything yourself. Learn to rely on others, because it'll make a huge difference. And my number 7 reason and final reason that your house is probably messy is that you took on too much at once. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you are not going to accomplish everything. And a lot of people take on big projects and it's more than they can handle, and what happens is they end up feeling overwhelmed and they just quit halfway through, and they end up with a bigger mess than what they started with. People just don't always have a good grasp of how much they can and can't do, so it's sort of our nature to want to take on a lot, and people sometimes will take on more than they can handle, and then they get so overwhelmed that just nothing can get done because it's just too much to even think about getting everything done. So it's really important that you understand what you can take on and what you can't, and what's too much for you. If it's too much for you, that's when you need to reach out to others and say, hey, I can't quite get this done, can you help me? Also understand where your limits are. Everybody's got a different amount they can do. Some people have physical disabilities where they can only do so much. So you need to understand what you're capable of and what is too much for you. Understand your ability and what you can and can't do. And some of it's learning, trial and error, but at some point you'll know what you can do. So those were my 7 reasons that your house is a mess. It wasn't meant to be aggressive. It was hopefully helpful for you, maybe give you some things to think about, some stuff that maybe you can consider in ways you can improve. And if your house is a mess and you're okay with it, that's okay too. It's okay if you want your house to be messy. I don't care. But if you're wanting to improve the overall look of your house and the feel, these are just some things to think about, to consider, on how you can improve on making your house a little less messy, a little more organized. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you all have a beautiful day today. Bye!